March 23, 1945, the night the rules broke. March 23, 1945, Remagen, France, Supreme Headquarters, Allied Expeditionary Force. The building had once stored champagne, now it stored the fate of Europe. General Dwight D. Eisenhower sat behind a scarred mahogany desk inside the converted warehouse, sleeves rolled up, jacket draped over the back of his chair. Outside, spring rain drummed steadily against the windows, a soft, relentless sound that matched the rhythm of the war itself, never stopping, never slowing. Inside, the walls were completely hidden by maps. Germany sprawled across them in red and blue ink. Thick arrows drove eastward toward Berlin. Dotted supply lines stretched all the way back to the beaches of Normandy. Pins marked divisions. Strings showed corps boundaries. Every mile of ground had been measured, calculated, scheduled. Eisenhower was buried in paperwork, the unglamorous machinery of victory. Fuel allotments for 1st Army, artillery ammunition for 9th Army, replacement troop requests for Hodge's depleted divisions, endless forms, endless signatures. Wars were won by soldiers, but they were sustained by paper. The door opened. General Walter Bedell Smith, Eisenhower's chief of staff, stepped inside. He carried no folder, no briefing book, just a single sheet of paper. Smith's face gave nothing away. He crossed the room and placed the document on Eisenhower's desk without speaking. A prisoner of war status report, 3rd Army, dated March 23, 1945, 0600 hours. Eisenhower glanced down casually, then stopped. His pen froze mid-signature. For a moment, nothing happened. His face didn't tighten, his brow didn't furrow. He didn't curse or react at all. His expression simply went blank. The kind of blank that happens when the brain refuses to accept what the eyes are seeing. "Adele?" Eisenhower said quietly, not looking up. "This number says 50. "Yes, sir." 50,000. "Yes, sir." "How long?" Smith hesitated just long enough for the answer to land harder. 18 hours, sir." Eisenhower finally looked up. "Check this again." "Already done. Twice." Smith pointed to the breakdown. 12th Corps reports 28,000. 20th Corps reports 22,000. Total confirmed enemy prisoners captured between 1800 hours March 22nd and 1200 hours March 23rd, 50,127. Eisenhower slowly set down his pen. Then he reached for another report, the latest intelligence summary from 21st Army Group, Montgomery's command in the north. He scanned the figures. 47,000 prisoners, 8 divisions, 4 weeks of operations. Patton had exceeded that in less than a day. "With 6 divisions," Eisenhower murmured. He leaned back slightly. "Bedell, how many POW cages does 3rd Army currently have operational?" 17, sir. "And now?" "They're requesting 12 more. Emergency priority." Eisenhower blinked. 12 more? "Yes, sir." "Why?" Smith's voice remained perfectly level. "They've run out of barbed wire." Eisenhower stared at him. "Run out of barbed wire?" "Yes. Geneva Convention standards require approximately 90 miles of fencing to contain 50,000 prisoners." Smith paused. 3rd Army exhausted its entire theater allocation before dawn. "That's impossible." Smith didn't flinch. "Apparently not when George Patton is involved, sir." The pocket that vanished. Eisenhower rose and walked to the main situation map. His finger traced 3rd Army's advance into the Palatinate, German territory trapped between the Rhine, the Moselle, and the Siegfried Line. 2 weeks ago, intelligence estimated 14 German divisions bottled up there, battered, undersupplied, but entrenched. SHAEF planners projected 2 weeks to clear the pocket. Methodical attacks, careful artillery preparation, deliberate reduction of strong points. Patton had erased it in 3 days. "Get me 3rd Army headquarters," Eisenhower said. But even before the line connected, Eisenhower understood something else. Patton hadn't asked permission for any of it. Well, they kept surrendering. March 23, 1945, 1600 hours. The phone line crackled between SHAEF and 3rd Army's forward headquarters in Idar Oberstein. Eisenhower picked up the receiver. His voice was calm, controlled, the voice of a man who had learned never to sound surprised when dealing with George S. Patton. "George," Eisenhower said, "I'm looking at a report stating you captured 50,000 prisoners without requesting additional processing units or coordinating logistics. Care to explain?" There was a pause. Then Patton's voice, confident, unapologetic. "Well, sir, I kept surrendering." Eisenhower closed his eyes. "George, couldn't very well tell them to come back tomorrow when the paperwork cleared. This isn't a joke. Wasn't joking, sir. 12th Corps broke through at Kaiserslautern, 20th Corps hit them from the south. By midnight, entire regiments were giving up without firing a shot. Some of them marched themselves to the rear. We didn't have enough MPs to escort them. Eisenhower could picture it clearly. Armor punching through weak seams, infantry flooding the gaps, German units exhausted, isolated, realizing there was nowhere left to go. Patton's army moving too fast to stop. Montgomery spent a month preparing Operation Plunder, massive artillery, airborne drops, 2 divisions, every resource available. And I crossed the Rhine last night, Patton interrupted. Didn't lose a man. Silence. Complete silence. You crossed the Rhine? Eisenhower asked quietly. Yes, sir. 22:30 hours. 11th Army. Assault boats south of Mainz. Barely any resistance. We're 6 miles deep already. Eisenhower tightened his grip on the receiver. That crossing was supposed to be the main effort. Churchill is watching plunder from an observation post. You just freelanced it. Every hour we waited was an hour the Germans could regroup, Patton replied. I had the boats, I had the bridgehead, I took the shot. Eisenhower knew the truth. Patton was reckless, insubordinate, but devastatingly effective. We'll discuss this in person, Eisenhower said. Until then, try not to capture the entire Wehrmacht. Yes, sir. The line went dead. Patton had already hung up. The logistics nightmare that worked. Within 24 hours, the consequences rippled outward. By March 24th, Third Army held 63,000 prisoners in facilities designed for 15,000. MPs worked non-stop, building makeshift cages from captured German materials, pillbox wire, roadblock timbers, even dragon's teeth repurposed as fence posts. German officers organized their own guards. Prisoners cooked their own food. The system functioned only because it had to. The Red Cross sent an urgent cable. SHAEF Logistics Chief General John Lee arrived at Eisenhower's office with charts soaked in red ink. Sir, Lee said, barely containing his frustration, Third Army has exceeded fuel allotments by 10%, ammunition by 40%, and they're requesting supplies from First Army without authorization. And they're using captured German trucks to haul their own fuel. Eisenhower studied the charts. Is it working? Lee hesitated. They're advancing so fast we can't keep up. Patton is literally running his army off enemy logistics. How much fuel is he saving us? 2 million gallons over 2 weeks, maybe more. Eisenhower nodded. Then let him keep doing it and document everything. Montgomery noticed. March 25, 1945. 21st Army Group Headquarters, Netherlands. Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery sat in his caravan reading the morning summary. Operation Plunder was scheduled to launch that night, the official Allied crossing of the Rhine. 21 weeks of preparation, 80,000 troops, 3,500 guns. Then his intelligence officer handed him a report. Patton had crossed the Rhine 2 days earlier. He read it carefully. His face remained controlled, but his eyes hardened. Please confirm Third Army operations do not interfere with Operation Plunder timeline, he wrote to SHAEF. Translation, tell Patton to stop embarrassing me. Eisenhower read the message and sighed. Assure Montgomery plunder remains the main effort, and emphasize coordination, especially since Patton is already past plunder's objectives, he instructed Smith. Churchill's smile. March 26th. Churchill arrived to observe Operation Plunder, cameras, correspondents, parliamentarians. When he learned Patton had crossed first, his expression changed.